"Excuse me, young man," the flight attendant said coldly, though pretending to be polite. "First class is not for people like you." Ethan Carter, a calm and composed young black man, blinked lightly, looking down at his first-class ticket before meeting her disdainful gaze. "I have a valid ticket," he replied softly. "I belong here." But Meredith Evans, the senior flight attendant, just gave a mocking smile. "Either you leave on your own or let security handle it." Little did she know, the black boy she had just tried to humiliate was actually the son of the airline's owner, someone who would ensure she paid for her blatant discrimination. The small suitcase rolled gently across the glossy floor of the international airport, weaving through the busy crowd. Among the neatly dressed suits and fashionable travelers, a slender black teenager walked with calm confidence. This was Ethan Carter, 17 years old, his sharp brown eyes hidden behind thin glasses. He had a gentle smile and a polite demeanor that made it easy to recognize his intelligence. Today was a special day. Ethan had just completed his final semester at an esteemed high school with outstanding results and had received a full scholarship to a top university in the United States. It was not just a reward for years of dedication, but a testament to the perseverance of a young black man from a humble but resilient background. Adjusting the strap of his backpack, he glanced around the vast airport. Everything unfolded in slow motion. Airport staff directing passengers, announcements echoing from loudspeakers, and colorful suitcases rolling endlessly on the baggage conveyor. Inside, Ethan was a mix of excitement and nervousness, not just because this was his first-class flight, a special gift from his father to celebrate his academic achievement, but also because, on the other side of this journey, his father, Richard Carter, was waiting for him. Richard Carter, a name that commanded respect in the aviation industry. He was not only the owner of the airline Ethan was about to board, but also a symbol of perseverance. From a poor boy working as a janitor in an airport to a mogul who built an aviation empire, his journey was one of triumph. Yet, to Ethan, he was simply Dad, the man who patiently explained tough math problems, stayed up late helping him prepare for exams, and always reminded him, your value doesn't lie in your skin color or background, but in how you treat others. Ethan didn't like to flaunt that he was Richard Carter's son. To him, his father was just his father, not the airline's owner, and he was just an ordinary student who wanted to be recognized for his abilities, not for his last name. Except for a few close family members, no one at this airport knew that he was Richard's only son. In his hand was his first-class ticket, a small piece of paper, but a significant milestone marking years of dedication and sacrifice. "Enjoy it, you deserve it," his father had said when handing him the ticket. But deep inside, Ethan remained humble. He had no interest in showing off. To him, this flight was simply a journey home, a return to family, to warmth, to laughter around the dinner table. Ethan made his way to the first-class lounge, his heart pounding in his chest. The plush leather chairs, the soft jazz music, and the rich aroma of coffee filled the quiet space. He sat down, placing his hot chocolate on the table, and quickly texted his father. "I'm about to board the plane, Dad. Hope to see you soon." The reply came almost instantly. "Enjoy your trip, son. I'll be waiting for you at home." Ethan smiled faintly. Everything seemed perfect, at least until he met Meredith Evans, the flight attendant who would turn this memorable flight into an unforgettable experience. Ethan had just put his phone away when his gaze accidentally swept over the service counter across the room. Two flight attendants were engaged in conversation, one of whom was Meredith Evans. With nearly 2 decades of experience, Meredith carried herself with distant pride, an arrogance not born from passion for the job, but from the belief that she was above others. From the moment she saw Ethan walk in, Meredith frowned. A neatly dressed, but simple black teenager entering the luxurious seating area for special passengers. He wore no expensive blazer, no designer watch, no polished leather shoes like the frequent flyers who usually visited this area. All Ethan carried was a worn-out backpack and a ticket in his hand. But what caught Meredith's attention wasn't his casual attire. It was his skin color. Her lips tightened into a familiar expression of prejudice. She leaned toward her colleague and whispered just loud enough to be heard. First class really is accessible to anyone these days. The younger attendant glanced at Ethan instinctively, briefly flustered. Unsure whether to smile at the remark or ignore it, she lowered her head and continued her work. But Meredith continued watching Ethan, her scrutinizing gaze filled with silent judgment. This wasn't the first time she had subtly revealed her discriminatory attitude toward passengers who didn't fit her unspoken standards. To her, people like Ethan, young, black, and dressed simply, had no place in first class. In her mind, he belonged in the cramped economy section, not among businessmen and high-ranking officials. Ethan, though aware of the strange looks, remained calm. He took a sip of hot chocolate, reassuring himself that he was overthinking things. After all, this wasn't the first time he had faced such silent scrutiny. What he didn't know was that Meredith wasn't just watching. She was silently setting herself a task to find out who he was and push him back to where she believed he belonged. At the boarding gate, Meredith stood with perfect posture, scanning tickets with practiced politeness. A middle-aged businessman received a warm, "Have a great flight, sir." A blonde woman with a designer handbag got a flawless smile. But when it was Ethan's turn, her expression shifted. Her eyebrows arched when she saw the words "first class" on his ticket. Without greeting him, she scanned him from head to toe. His curly black hair, his simple hoodie, his slightly worn sneakers. Her lips curled slightly in condescension. "Are you sure you're at the right gate?" she asked, her voice carrying subtle doubt. "Economy is over there." She gestured toward the other passengers boarding in the general queue. Ethan hesitated, then calmly replied, "Yes, I'm at the right gate. My ticket clearly states first class." Instead of verifying, Meredith just stared at him. "Ah," she drawled. "There might be a mistake. First class isn't for everyone." The statement, though softly spoken, cut through the air like a thin blade. Behind Ethan, a few people in line whispered, their curious gazes filled with silent judgment. Ethan took a deep breath, keeping his voice calm. "My ticket is valid. You can check again if you need to." Their eyes locked, his steady and resolute, hers filled with deep-seated prejudice. Meredith smirked slightly. "Then you can wait here while I check." With that, she turned to the system, her face betraying no urgency, only a quiet enjoyment of the discomfort she was causing. Ethan stood firm, aware that eyes were on him. He had done nothing wrong. He belonged here. And soon, Meredith would find out just how wrong she was.